Hey friends, okay, so full disclosure, first and foremost, I'm not using my little microphone, I'm using my normal Rode mic, so I hope that the audio is okay. Number two, my favorite family in the whole wide world, my bestie, is going through a major life event today, and I am awaiting a phone call to give me major life event updates. So at any point, I will absolutely drop this video to take that phone call because it is very important to me. So if scenes change, if my face changes, if I completely lost my train of thought at any point, that is because I also am in a bit of a time crunch. Now, why am I in a bit of a time crunch? Let's talk about the hair. It is like all sausage roll curly because I have a very long day today and I need to look good now, but I also need to look good at like 8 o'clock p.m. outside. So like 10 hours from now. So you are just getting what you're getting today. Moral of the story, welcome back. Hey, hi, how are you? My name is Shauna. If you are new here, we are a homeschooling family of 4. We are entering our 9th year of homeschooling, the first of which I will be planning a group class for, and that is what we're talking about today. Before we go any further, guys, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. I'm gonna do my best to link what I'm talking about today. I understand that this is not applicable to a lot of you because you are not in and around the Houston area, and this is a physical class in and around the Houston area. However, some of you can totally utilize this information, and this could be a good way to either find classes in your area to understand the process, or, and here's the other one, how to approach places to offer classes like this in your area. And I think that is incredibly invaluable. So here we go. Okay, what we are talking about today, and I have a lot of paperwork, because it involves a lot of paperwork. So what we are talking about today is scheduling science classes for a homeschool group at Houston Museum of Natural Science. Now, here are a couple of details. Houston Museum of Natural Science has 2 locations. There is a very large location with the largest Hall of Paleontology in the United States, the Marion Hall of Paleontology, in the Museum District of Houston, by Herman Park, by the zoo. There is a secondary location out in Sugar Land in Fort Bend County in a remodeled old prison building. It's actually really cool. So 2 locations, both locations offer group labs, okay? Group labs is what we're talking about today. So every year in the spring, about this time, and this is why I'm sharing this right now in case anybody wants to take advantage of this going into the next school year, they put out their education guide. Now their education guide, and I will try to remember to show all this on screen, features group labs for labs up to 25 students, and it is designed for groups. So school classes, scout groups, homeschool groups. It is not specifically tailored to homeschool groups. However, any group can book a lab. These are weekday labs. They have 2 kinds of labs, which is worth noting. There are weekday labs that you schedule and you book out for the month or for the year, okay? And that is essentially, you pick a day and time and you do it once a month for the 9 months of the school year. That is your lab time. And then they will send you lab topics and you can choose and reserve that. So that is weekday labs. That is what we're discussing. They also have on-demand labs, which I think are a little cheaper. I'm not sure. I'll show you on the screen because I'm not looking into it, so I honestly don't know. Weekday or on-demand labs, and I believe you go to them. I don't think they come to you. But again, I'm not looking at that one, but I will try to get the information to share with you because it's good information to have. So, okay, 2 kinds of labs. I am looking at the weekday labs. Now, we did this 3 years ago at the Sugar Land location with a group right after everything reopened from the pandemonium. And it was with a group that wasn't our group. They were pretty anti things. And it was one of those, I've already paid, we're just here to learn. We shan't make lifelong friendships here. So then the year after, found a group at the main location because the main location's bigger bigger access to all the things, more full-time employees to host the things. And so we did that for the year. Now, the person who ran the group that year fully intended to do it again the next year, and just had some life happen. So it didn't happen, which we all have that. That was my entire last year. So in an effort to ensure that this did happen, because I really want this for my girls, I went ahead and volunteered to kind of spearhead the effort. And so that is what I am doing. So in full disclosure, this is kind of an already existing group because the foundation of the group was already there. So like the Facebook page with some people was already there. It's already been established. So let me explain, I don't want to get into the processes. Let me explain what I've done in an effort to set myself up for success in moving forward. So last year when I realized that the classes weren't going to happen as the year before, I went ahead and reached out to the museum and I was like, here's the deal. Here's who I am. I understand that registration is closed for this year. Could you keep me in the loop? And they said, yep, absolutely. We're adding you to our contact list, which you can do ahead of time, which is great because then I was like on the first front of people getting in to do the things. So then over the course of the year, they're like, hey, we have a homeschooler who reached out who's really interested. Can we send you her info? Sure, okay. So somehow I became the point of contact for like homeschool inquiries. I don't know how it happened, but here we are. So she is added to the group, by the way. So then I went ahead and I was like, all right, here's some things that we need to do. So I started chatting with people in the Facebook group, like, here's what's coming. It's coming. Can we get like a brief head count? How many kids? Just an idea. Because the labs, so the weekday labs are $225 each. So you multiply that by 9 months, you get $2,025. That's the total cost of the lab. It includes supplies, it includes a teacher, it includes a facility, it includes everything. So what you need to do then is you divide by the number of students you have and you pay it. So for example, a full class is 25 students. So if you are dividing it by 25, everybody pays like, I think it's like $72 for the year. So it works out to $8 per student per lab, which I think is an absolutely stellar idea. The less you have, the more you pay. So if you have one student, you're paying $2,000, which is wild, but you get what I'm saying. So I knew that I was going to be accepting people's money, which I don't love. I knew that I was going to be relying on people to follow through and do what they said they would do, which is if you're signing up, you're committing, you're gonna pay, which I don't love. Because it's just work. Okay, so in an effort to set myself up for maximum success, I started chatting through the group, getting a general head count, things like that. Then I went ahead and I actually made a Gmail account for the name of the group, because you have to have a name of the group, so I let people in the group vote, so we have a name. So I made a Gmail account for that name of the group to keep it separate from like my life and my homeschool life and like my channel life. Like, for business purposes, my brain works like that. We are compartmentalized. Then through that Gmail account, I went ahead and made a PayPal account. So that PayPal account stands freely alone from any of my personal finances. Is over there money. I want to keep it separate. Never the two shall mingle. I don't want any questions. I don't want any improprieties. No. I also went ahead and made a Google form, again, through that other Gmail account, which is so cool because I made the form. I've never done it before. And I put in like emergency contact, parent name, kid name, how many kids, blah, blah, blah. You promise to pay. Yes. You promise you pay in full. Yes. You understand. Here's the other thing. It is a full commitment. So I don't care if you know you're not going to be here in December. That's not my problem. Okay. You are paying for the full year, whether you come or not. I don't care. And you are welcome to try to kind of resell that spot or gift that spot to someone else who has maybe like kind of an intermittent interest and doesn't want to commit to the full thing, because I made a wait list, but we'll get there in a minute. So went ahead, did all these things, right? And then you can import your Google form as they answer it. You can import it right into a spreadsheet. Oh no, so cool. Never done it before. Wicked cool. So then we got, in an effort to let us know what was happening as soon as the educational guide, so every year they release a new educational guide with class descriptions that come out, I get this information from, and I'll probably just show it on screen, but basically here's how much, here's some important dates that you need to know about. We need a contact form, so we need a contact information. We need a secondary person's information, which I have. Complete the interest form by the beginning of May. So like I knew it was going to be coming in April, so they released the guide, let us know your information, ASAP. So as soon as we did that, I went into my Facebook group and I created a poll for every month, because every month has 3 different class options. They have time labs and they alternate. So there's actually several different types of labs, but every month you get 3 choices and they tell you what those choices are. So there is intermittently dissection labs. There are intermittently time labs, and the dissection labs are strictly 5th grade and up. There are time labs, which are like you go to like medieval and you learn about medieval history. So it's more of like a little bit of history. They have techno-science labs, so like electricity, things like that. There's earth science, like layers of the earth. There's wildlife labs where you learn about different kinds of animals. And so every month they just give you 3 choices. So I just put the 3 choices in a poll on my Facebook, my closed Facebook group. Here's the options, okay? Boom, done. That was it. So then I let people vote. And when it came time, so there we go. April 25th, the lab guide is issued. May 9th, the contact form must be submitted. May 16th, I got an email with the links to register for each month for which class. And there are some awesome things in there. You can let them know like the grade ranges. You can let them know if there's any special needs in your group. So like ADD, ADHD, autism, all different kinds of special needs that you may need accommodations for your group, which I thought was really awesome. And they also give you a little bit more information on if you're coming with a school and you need a facility to eat like your sack lunches, they let you know how to reserve those spots and things like that. So I did the things because people had voted, because I put those up, I went ahead and reserved those things. And completely selfishly, the way that the classes have been done a couple years ago, it was Tuesday at 1. It was really easy to do. And so I just did that again, and I picked the Tuesdays in the month that worked for me because, again, I'm organizing it so I can do that. So that is how I did that, and I've put in the requests for that. They will actually not be confirmed until later. So once I had put in my requests, I went ahead and I made a graphic of days, class titles, and times, and we have 25 spots. First come, first serve, fill out this linked Google form. And this is how we will proceed. And every few people I would update with the current cost. Every few people I would update with the current cost. Filled the class, honestly, quite easily. So now I am working from a wait list. So I have not done it yet, but I will send the invoice to people to let them know what their portion is, give them 7 days to pay the invoice before I start moving into the wait list. And that is where we are now. Now you may be curious, what does it include? So for your cost of lab, it actually includes your kids ticket as well as an adult chaperone ticket to get into all of the general exhibits as well, so that you can access your class. And it's really cool. Again, it includes the instructor's time, all supplies that you need. And we've done some really cool stuff in the past. We learned like hands-on experiments. So we learned how horseshoe crab blood is used to check for contamination because it changes colors and their blood is blue. So cool. Ancient Egypt, where they used hieroglyphics to write their name on a cartouche. I think it was cartouche or sarcophagus lid. I might be making stuff up right now, but you get what I'm saying. And time lapse and optical illusion, which was so cool because they cut out the specific thing and then hung it from a string, and the way it turned, it made it look really cool. So if you are interested in doing something like this in your area, one, I would take this information that I am giving you, and if it is a place that does not do school events like this, go ahead and present it to them. If it is a place that does do school events like this, ask them if you can register with a homeschool group. You don't need necessarily any accommodations. It is very easy because they are already doing things like this for classes and groups and labs and schools. It's easy to just form a homeschool group and do this. I do recommend a lot of the CYA that I have mentioned here. So get a closed group, make sure you know who's in the group, make sure that you are doing things to keep it all squared away, to keep it easy in your brain. So the time-stamped Google form submission was really handy because we got off count and had to go by who had done it first. The infographics are really easy, just made it in Canva, super cute. It is fun, it is exciting, and I'm really glad that we are going to be able to pursue this for the upcoming year. So that is so far my experience with scheduling these homeschool classes. I did also go ahead and include on their emergency contacts, as well as if the adults would be willing to chaperone the class, because in my experience, you really need a lot of chaperones in the class, like one per table is best. So I also did start a waitlist post, because there are some people who they don't want to commit. They don't want to commit to the full year, but if they know you're going to be out in October, yeah, I'd like to pick it up in October. And then you can sell your spots. You're not out that many. Where we are now is in the waiting to get confirmed phase, which according to my timeline, all completed lab requests must be done by June 25th. And then we will get notified of whether or not our schedule was approved or not, I think by the end of July. So at that point, we will have a set schedule for the year for our science classes at HMNS. I am anticipating paying about $75 per student, which for me is gold, because it is 9 one-hour classes, as well as admission to the museum, which we personally don't need because we're members, but you get what I'm saying. So really cool. Really fun, really excited to be sharing this with you, because I have had a lot of questions about that in the past. And no, I'm so sorry, guys. My group is not open to you. It's closed to people that we know kind of in our real lives, as well as the fact that it is full. So all I've got is a wait list waiting. But if you are interested in doing something like this, if you're in the Houston area, if you have any more questions, let me know, because I'm super happy to help, as well as let me know if you have something like this in your area. Down in the comments below would be really helpful. So let me know where you are, what museum it is, and how it works, because this is really great. And sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, there's nothing like this in my area, when all it takes is you being the guy to be like, hey, would you do this for us? And just ask the question. You will always get a no if you never ask the question. So just ask the question. Often, if you are not familiar, people who are experts in their field, scientists, museum curators, these people cannot wait to share what they have, to share what they know, to show what they have, to show what they know to people who are interested, especially children. So often, all it will take is, I would love to do this. Here's my proposition on making it happen. Can you help me with this? No one is turning down children unnecessarily. It's just not a thing. People who are passionate about education, people who are passionate about what they are doing, want to share. Give them the opportunity to share. Guys, I hope that you found any of this helpful, entertaining, or informative. I also hope that my brain processes in a manner that was conducive to you hearing it, because up here it makes perfect sense, but sometimes it doesn't always make it out that way and in a flow. So I hope it was helpful. Guys, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. I appreciate you coming back. I appreciate you giving me your attention and focus. It really does mean a lot that you share this time with me, and I hope that this was valuable, and I hope that it is helpful to your homeschool journey. Yeah, sometimes all it takes is to be the guy. Okay, but I also do recommend putting a lot of parameters in place to set yourself up for maximum success going into it. If you can do a lot of work on the front end, you're gonna have a much better time on the back end. And that is pretty much how I live all of my life. So I hope it was helpful, guys. Bye.